Greetings, everyone. I'm excited to welcome Vinodh Poyapak, CEO and co-founder at Coris. Vinodh, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ben. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Great to have you here. Let's dive right in. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, absolutely. My background has been in payments and risk-based for the last 10, 15 years at this point. Looked at companies like PayPal, and JP Morgan Chase, and Google a little bit before founding Coris in 2022.
Okay, perfect. So in the payments risk space, and so were you on the commercial side, sales side, technical side? Where were you within these companies?
I was specifically in the risk and compliance space, helping companies manage small business risk and compliance. Sorry about that.
Okay, all right, perfect, perfect. And then, yeah, tell us a little bit about Chorus. What products or services does Chorus offer?
Yeah. So at Coris, our mission is to help companies have better trust of the SMBs they serve. So primarily, we are building the modern risk infrastructure for these companies so they can better serve small businesses anywhere in the world. So we do that by offering key products today. Number one, what we call as merchant profiler. Part of that is like the KYB or know your business type of data we provide on businesses. But on top of it, we also give information such as how does their online reputation look like? The reviews that small businesses have online, or how does their website look like, what industry they are in, all of these in an automated way. So folks can automate understanding of the businesses, whether it's underwriting or vetting, whatever it is. That's something they can do. That's one of the bigger products we have. And then we also have a risk platform that companies like MindBody use to manage small business risk across 46 countries today. That is native integration to Stripe today. So using that, you can automatically manage SMB risk when processing payment, right? Then more recently, we launched a SMB fraud model that looks at understanding at sign up. Is the small business signing up for a financial product? Is it a fraudulent attempt, or is someone else trying to impersonate a business? Or, do they have any bad intent? So those are the three products we have today.
Okay, interesting. So your customer is the company who is doing business with SMBs?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay. So you're helping, right? Thousands, millions of SMBs out there. So you're just helping them understand, who they're working with better as far as risk and fraud and so on.
That's right. There are hundreds and thousands of SaaS companies, as you know, today that cater to small business customers for a variety of needs. Part of that, they also typically offer some financial products today, whether it be payments, payroll, lending, banking, insurance, it could be anything. For them to do that, they need to manage risk properly and take care of their exposure. That's where we come.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting because I've heard of, say, the like supply chain risk or with risk with contractors, but this is helping that a little bit more because, like, say, if I work with IBM, I know, yeah, IBM, big brand, can trust them. But if I'm working with
Right.
a small tech company, well, maybe they have a nice product, but do we know if we should work with them? So is that's helping these larger companies achieve this?
That's right. It's a counterparty risk, and the
Mhm.
counterparty is a really small business. How do you manage that? It's very manual today. A lot of it is, and there aren't a lot of good data points, unlike consumer. Like, for example, you or I go apply for a credit card with Capital One or Chase. It's instantaneous decision because there's FICO and they can do a lot of those things. But for small businesses, it doesn't work like that. It takes time. There's a lot of paper pushing and manual stuff. That's what we're trying to automate it, especially with a lot of the new AI capabilities. It unlocks a lot of things that we are not able to do before.
Yeah, interesting. And so what geographies are you serving? Is this very geo based? Can it just be applied globally? Tell me a little bit more about the what geographies you're working in.
Yeah, so we are not geographically constrained today.
Mhm.
We work with companies across the world. We work with companies that serve SMBs across the world. For example, like one of our big customers, MindBody, they are serving gyms and studios and spas in 46 different countries. And so we are able to help them underwrite and manage risk of these businesses, all these 46 countries. So yeah, we serve in various countries today.
Okay, all right, yeah, interesting. So what year did you found Chorus?
2022.
2022. Okay. And do you have a headquarters location? Are you virtual?
We are not virtual. We are actually located in Palo Alto in California, right on the university. Yeah.
Okay, nice. And what's your current team size?
So we are a team of 6 people right now, super small. trying to do massive things. So we're not trying to hire crazy or anything. We're trying to keep potentially the team size small at this point.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. And anything you want to share around revenue or AR ranges?
Nothing that I would want to share at this point specifically. I will say like we work with like more than 10 customers at this point. So definitely are good traction from a revenue standpoint.
Okay. And then, so you're working as, would you say like mid-market enterprise type companies working with SMBs? So tell us a little bit about your go-to-market motion. Seems like it's a pretty big market to go after, especially if you can be global. So how are you finding your prospects and customers?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I mean, when you think about it, there are tons of companies that work with small. You can say that our market is huge. Like you could work with a company that's catering to that lending to a small business in UK or, offering payments to a small business in Brazil. It could be anywhere, right? Doesn't matter. Something we want to do at some point in the future. But right now, the way we think about our core market is software platforms that offer embedded payments to small businesses within their platform. So that's really the core focus area of us. And then the other one is fintechs. There are a lot of fintechs that are catering to small businesses, but are also struggling to automate all the SMB underwriting side of things, which we have.
Okay. Okay. So you've kind of defined that ICP or narrow ICP. So software platforms of offering embedded payments, and then you said some then fintech. So really going after that core
That's right.
first ICP. Okay. And then switching to the fundraising side, how much capital have you raised to date?
Yeah, we raised a total of roughly $3.7 million, primarily from Y Combinator, Lux Capital, Exponent Founders Capital, and a few other investors.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about that journey. And it looks like that was what characterized as a seed round. So tell us, where were you in the company's life that say triggered that? Was there a milestone trigger that said you were ready for some capital?
Yeah. So the way it started for us is like, we actually started our company right around when we got into Y Combinator. We got accepted into Y Combinator. That sort of seeded our initial capital for us, going into Y Combinator. And then we did our fundraising few months after getting into Y Combinator when we started seeing some traction around our product and early customers. So we did around like late 22, I'd say, although we announced more recently. We did our fundraising around late 22 when we had some traction around it.
Okay. So it was in Y Combinator, and then a few months later raising. So you saw some initial traction, so signing up some customers, maybe a little revenue generation was that initial traction that said, okay, we're ready
That's
to
right.
add some capital to the process now.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Primarily to help us hire and grow the team. But again, we wanted to be careful in terms of how we grow and be responsible about it.
Okay. And then for other founders who are considering that first initial funding, maybe that seed raise, any lessons learned in your fundraising process that you'd like to share with the founder community?
I think the one thing I learned when you go to fundraising is, especially at the earliest stages, like, seed or pre-seed side of stages are primarily investors are looking to see, are these the team we should be backing, right? Or, it's not about, the addressable market, or it's not even about the traction you may have. Traction is great, but primarily they're looking to see, are these the founders we want to be backing? Can they go build a formidable company in the space? That's what they're looking for. It's great if you have background and experience in the same space you're building the company in. Of course, in the absence of it, you want to show some traction that you can go build it. But primarily, they're looking to understand who are the founders I'm backing at the stage. That's all they're looking for. And definitely be forthright with, what you can do versus what you cannot do, But again, like, obviously, that's all investors are looking at founders at that.
And it sounds like you came from corporate life. Is this your first startup? Have you started up companies previously?
This is my first startup
Okay.
ever. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. And then obviously this came because you came from an industry. So tell us a little bit about that jumping. Did something just hit you one day with this idea? Were you thinking about it for a while? Did you meet a co-founder? Tell us about how this came where then you jumped from corporate life into a startup.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. It's a confluence of a few things, right? This is the problem. What we're trying to solve here is the problem we felt ourselves, both me and my co-founder. We worked together before and we felt this problem ourselves before. So for some context, right, I led small business with for payments and working capital. It did about 5 years. called VPay. They were a payment facilitator similar to Stripe. We worked with a ton of software platforms, saw this problem firsthand, how software platforms wanted to onboard small businesses automatically and quickly. But there's a huge struggle to understand who these small businesses are. The data related to small businesses that are just really hard to get by. And the traditional companies did not have great data on it. So we felt that problem ourselves. And my co-founder now, he was the head of risk engineering and data science at BPay. So we partnered together for 6, 7 years working on this problem quite a bit there. And then I went to Google for a while to run payment risk for their consumer product. But then we started chatting, Shyam and I started chatting about this problem, especially with some of the new AI capabilities that were just coming around at the time. We felt it might be a great time because there's a huge wave of new small businesses being created in the last few years. And, this problem continued to persist. On top of it, the new AI capabilities are unlocking a lot of things that were not possible. There were a ton of unstructured data that lives on SMBs anywhere in the world, but it's just hard to get them in a structured way for you to make automated decisions. So we thought like there's a great time to go in and work on it. We know company building is a long process, but we are 200% in saying like, this is what.
Yeah, appreciate that insight. So really interesting. And at this stage of your business, so you've got that seed round and now, gaining some traction. Do you have a favorite number or metric that you're focused on to guide the business?
Absolutely. I mean, primarily it's revenue, right? Revenue is what everyone goes by. That's our favorite metric for sure. Again, I would say that's what everyone should be focusing on, like no matter what. You can come up with a lot of other metrics. In my opinion, there might just be a goal, but really like revenue is the primary one we should be focused on.
Okay. In earlier you had mentioned, kind of small team and like that way. So it sounds like you're focused maybe on longer cash runways or not just in a very high burn, cash burn phase. So tell us a little bit about that. Are you focused on kind of long cash runways and not just burning through that seed round right away?
Now, I think the way I look at it is like, it's about like who we hire as well, what
Hmm.
type of people you hire and all that. Just pretty much the entire team we hired, these guys are experienced in building modern risk infrastructure before other companies. So they're not totally, fresh out of school trying to build something new here. They've been through this. They know what problems to sidestep. They know how to scale systems and all that. So that's why we're intentionally being small in that sense, but we're still able to in terms of output, we come up with a lot, although we are a small team, because like how much they can put through. That's the way we think about it. But ultimately, we are at a point we want to have a formative culture that really defining in terms of how we open up as a company, and that it's not by hiring 30 people right off the bat and go do it. That's not the way we want to do it. We want to make sure we have the right people, can deliver the right things, and then scale responsibly. That's the way I think about it.
Okay. Yeah. No, appreciate that insight. Just curious because it seemed like there's a point to that, some of the previous comments. So appreciate that. And Vinod, as we wrap up here today, tell us what's coming up next for the company.
Yeah, I think the way we look at it is like there is so many problems we solve within the business identity and business verification and general risk space for small business globally speaking. And we, for example, we launched a new feature today that's AI-driven automated site inspection of businesses. When you think about it, like site inspection is not uncommon. A lot of businesses get like, hey, we need to come and visit your site to see if you're a legitimate business, right? That still happens even in 2024. But what we have done is we launched a feature today where that taking this Google Street View of a business and then using the latest multimodal model like GPT Vision to really understand who's this business. Is there a signage of the business? Are there trucks parked outside? Are there cars parked outside? What kind of business they are? There's so many signals you get out of it. So my point is there are so many new capabilities being unlocked in terms of how do you understand a business, what they do, especially with the new way of AI capability. That's really what we are unlocking and bringing to the world. And that's really where we are going. I think the future is exciting in terms of how much we can bring the new world of AI to SMB underwriting and risk. That's really where we are headed.
No, that's great. Yeah, that is fascinating. Yeah, is there signage out front or is it a sign in the alley or maybe no sign whatsoever? So yeah, that's really fascinating. So Vinod, really appreciate you sharing your experience today and your journey. If listeners would like to learn more about Coris, where should we send them online?
Absolutely. Coris.ai, that's our website. We have everything.
All right, perfect. So check out Coris. So it's CORIS.ai to learn more. And again, Vinodh, really appreciate your time and sharing your experience today.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.